help, please let me know. So just briefly, so I said, did anybody notice that I said namaste at the beginning of the class instead of at the end? Yeah. Namaste is a greeting, is actually a salutation. And so I typically, you won't hear me say it at the end of the class. It doesn't mean anything's bad if anybody does. I'm just letting you know because I know some people wait for that. And so welcome, actually. And so for those who may not know what namaste means, it actually is, so it's a greeting. The light within me honors and acknowledges that same light which is also within you. So it's just a way of saying hello. We're all acknowledging each other and that we're all here together. So welcome, my name is Lori White, and I typically teach on Mondays, and this is not a normal scheduled class. It's kind of a pop-up class. There will be some off and on throughout the next couple months, and I know Sandra will also teach on Saturdays. So today is going to be a general Hatha class that should be fairly balanced, so wherever we may be out of balance in our bodies and minds, hopefully it will help bring us back to center. So with that, I'll invite you to come into a comfortable seat, whatever that may look like for you. I typically offer a lot of options, and please just remember that that's just it. There are options. If anything does not resonate with you or does not feel comfortable, don't do it. Take agency of your practice. This hour is for you. And if something doesn't feel good at all, just feel free to skip it, okay? So, finding our comfortable seat, and that can be lying down, it can be seated, it can be standing. And then I'll invite you to either close down the eyes or we can set the gaze at one object. And again, this just helps us focus the mind so that we can enter into the body, so to speak. So beginning to tune in to all the places where you're making contact with the surface beneath you. So maybe it's the seat, shins, thighs, wherever we're making contact with that surface. Allow this area to feel a little weighty. Take a deep breath in and exhale it out. Take a moment and give yourself permission to be supported today. To be supported by, again, those structures beneath us. Giving yourself permission to be wherever you are mentally, physically, and emotionally. And know that that's perfectly fine. We're not all going to look the same, nor should we. We all encounter different stressors and have different densities of bone thicknesses. So we can't all have the same outward appearance or feel the same things, and that's perfectly fine. I like to encourage students to practice ahimsa, which is our third niyama, and it means non-harming or non-violence. So on our mat, I would encourage you not to bring yourself physical pain. If we do feel physical pain, just gently adjust and come out, or skip it altogether, as well as letting go of any judgment of yourself. With that, we'll begin to scan the body from the crown of the head all the way down to the toes and begin to check in. So let's first check in with the crown of the head, and then the face and the back of the head, and the ears, down towards the neck down to shoulders, shoulders down to elbows, and the elbows down to wrists, wrists to fingertips, back up to the neck, checking in with the chest and upper back, abdomen and lower back, hips, glutes, down the thighs to the knees, knees to ankles, and ankles to toes. Just making a mental note of what you are feeling and where. Anything you may want to pay a little bit more attention to today. And then resting the internal gaze upon the breath. Not altering the breath at this time, but just becoming aware. Noticing what you are, or where we're breathing into and through. Are we breathing high up in the chest or deep down into the lower lobes of this lungs? And then on our next inhalation, we'll inhale through the nose, drawing the breath deep down into the lower lobes of the lungs, allowing the stomach to expand, and then filling the torso up with air all the way up to the collarbones. Noticing the expansion, and as you exhale, pushing that air back up and out through the nose. This is called our 3-part breath or yogic breath. It's a very calming breath as the lower lobes of the lungs have more receptors for our parasympathetic nervous system. So we'll continue this breath, and this will be the breath that we use throughout class today. You're always welcome to come back to following the breath if you notice that you're holding the breath. We'll add some movement here, so you're welcome to either open up the eyes or keep them closed, but we'll bring the palms together. Inhale, arms reaching up into an Urdhva Hastasana. Root the tailbone down into the mat, and exhale, bringing the arms out. Just warming up the shoulders. Inhale, arms reaching up, relaxing knees, glutes, thighs. Exhale, lowering down. So continuing at your own pace. Inhaling, arms reaching up. Exhaling slowly, releasing them out and down. Knees stay nice and relaxed. If you find that you're drawing the knees up towards the chest, maybe add a blanket or a block underneath the pelvic bowl. This just helps to relax the hip flexors, providing us a little bit more space between the ground. One last round here. And we'll meet with the arms alongside the body. Warming up the wrist as we'll be on the hands for off and on. We'll bring the fingertips to the thumb and just flick as if you're flicking water. So we're just trying to increase circulation through the wrist. Getting the blood flowing, getting everything ready. And then we'll pause and roll the wrist. One direction and then the opposite. Gently pausing here, drawing the shoulders up to the ears, make fists, squeeze the glutes, squeeze the toes, exhale it out. One more time whenever you're ready. And then shaking the shoulders up and down. Slowing down and rolling the shoulders back. Exaggerated movements here are okay. Pause, drawing the shoulders down and then back to the wall behind you. Engaging abdomen, protecting lumbar spine, releasing chin down toward chest. Does not have to touch or come anywhere near it. We're just letting the head hang heavy. Shaking the head no. It's nice and slow. Inhaling, right ear over right shoulder, relaxing both shoulders down. Continuing to draw shoulders back to the wall behind you. Deep breath here. Exhaling it out. As you inhale, bringing chin up towards the sky, being mindful of the neck. If you feel any discomfort, bringing it back to neutral. And as you exhale, releasing Left ear towards left shoulder, relaxing both shoulders down. Deep breath in and exhale it out. Allowing the body to become soft. Inhale, bringing chin back up towards the sky. And then over right ear towards right shoulder. Deep breath here. Exhale, chin down towards chest. Inhale slowly, neutral. Deep breath in, roll shoulders back. Great job. So bringing the hands behind us, fingertips facing the wall in front, bending elbows. So we're pressing into the earth with the hands, lift chest. Now if I have any discomfort here in the wrists, I can take my blanket and I can place the heel of my hand onto the blanket and the fingertips off, just to help give me a little bit of support there. Extending legs out in front. Chest stays lifted as we lift it up towards the ceiling, and then pointing the toes down towards the floor. Deep breath here. You may notice some stretching at the top of the foot. Inhale, pressing through the heel, spread toes wide. Exhale, pointing toes down towards the floor. All 10 toes point to the right. Waking up the sides of the feet. Inhale, back to center. Spread toes wide as you press through the heels. Exhale, pointing toes down, all 10 toes over to the left. And inhaling once again to center, press through heels, toes towards knees, spread toes wide. Great job. Inhale, back to center. We'll just make some big circles here again. Just warming up the joints, getting circulation going, opposite direction. Great job. Inhaling, softening. And we'll go ahead and come up into mountain pose. So meeting in Tadasana. I like to have my blocks handy. You're welcome to come to the top of your mat, even though you'll see me in the center. So in our Tadasana, this is actually a very active pose. So you'll hear me talk about it a lot. So standing comfortable width apart, we all have different options on what's comfortable here, but grounding down into the feet, press into the heel, into the ball of the foot, lifting our inner arches. So energetically, envision taking your ankles, pressing them inward and then forward. So now you may have noticed your legs are engaged all the way up to the glutes. Shoulders back and down, reach up through the crown of the head, abdomen's engaged, protecting lumbar spine. Mountain pose, deep breath. We're actively pressing down into the earth and reaching up through the crown of the head. Softening knees, inhale, arms reach up, Urdhva Hastasana, greeting the sky. And as we exhale, hands come down towards the belly, pressing it in and up, making space, so creating space for the torso. As we exhale, hinging forward. Knees are soft, so bend in the knees. Flexion into the hips and not into the spine. So I'm not rounding the lower back here, but bending my knees if the hamstrings are tight. Maybe I don't go down as far, perfectly fine. We have our blocks here. Grounding into the blocks, we'll inhale, halfway rise. Maybe hands come to the thighs. Reaching tailbone and crown of the head in opposite directions, releasing shoulders down the back. Exhale, fold. Pressing into the feet, bending knees, tucking chin to chest. Reverse, reaching up to the sun. Exhaling, hands come down. We're just gonna build. So inhale once again, Urdhva Hastasana, reaching up. Exhale, bending knees as we swan dive down into our forward fold. Welcome to create space by tucking the abdomen in. Inhale, half rise. Exhale, fold. Bending knees deeply, grounding into the heels, into the ball of the foot, pressing earth away as we inhale, rise. reaching up. Exhale, Tadasana. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, bending knees, swan diving down, or into our Uttanasana, forward fold. Deep breath here. Inhale, halfway rise. Exhale, fold. Grounding into the feet, bending knees, tucking chin to chest. Reverse, reach up towards the sun. Exhale, down to mountain. Let's take a moment here, maybe closing down the eyes or setting the gaze at one point, and just tune in to the sensations occurring throughout the body. Become aware of any thoughts or emotions that are arising, and if none are, that's perfectly fine. Grounding into the feet, we'll inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, bending knees, swan diving down, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway rise. Exhale, fold. Bending knees together, we'll shift the weight to the left leg, right leg steps back. I'm going to grab my blanket and put it behind me to bring my knee down onto, just because I like a little bit more cushion. From here, grounding the left foot into the earth, coming up into my low lunge. Hands can be here, they can be at cactus, they can reach up, they can be on blocks, lots of options. However, together we'll all feel to draw left hip back, right hip forward, hands to the hip points, lift pelvic bowl slightly, and we'll invite the hip flexors into this lunge. Deep breath here. Exhale, hands coming down. Back toe might turn under, and we'll step the left leg back to meet the right. Knees come down. And then stacking wrists underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. Tops of the feet might come to the mat to support, or toes might turn under. Deep breath in, sink abdomen down, chest lifts, coming into our cow pose. Softly looking forward. As you exhale, tucking chin towards chest, rounding spine, coming into our mat cat. Pressing the earth away with the hands. Inhale back to neutral, and right foot steps forward now for our lunge. Grounding into the right foot, drawing right hip back, left hip forward. Inhale, arms reach wherever is comfortable for you. They can stay at the hips. Deep breath here. Press the earth away. If at any time I feel unsteady, I'm gonna walk my right foot towards the long edge of my mat and widen the stance. Deep breath here. Exhale, hands come down. Shifting right leg back. Again, meeting in my neutral tabletop. Inhale, sinking abdomen down, lifting chest, softly looking forward. And as I exhale, rounding spine, tucking chin towards chest. Inhale to neutral. Stepping left foot forward, and then right, and bending knees, reaching all the way up to Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, down to Tadasana, or mountain pose. Deep breath here. Inhale it out. Inhale, then exhale. And then together we'll ground down into the feet. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale. Swan diving down into our forward fold. Bending knees, this time left foot steps back. Pausing here. I know I personally am going to want to widen my stance, so heel toe right foot out. Feel to draw right hip back. I'm going to step my left foot in just a little. If I feel secure, I might stay right here, or inhale, coming up. Feel the draw, right hip back, left hip forward, squeeze glutes, press into the right foot. Deep breath, beautiful. Exhale, hands come down. Maybe my left knee comes down or it stays extended, right leg steps back to meet left. Hips shift forward, pressing earth away as we meet in our modified plank pose or palakasana. Abdomen's engaged. As we exhale, toes turn under, lifting hips up, shifting hips up and back, coming into Adho Mukha Svanasana or downward facing dog. Deep breath here. So in this downward facing dog, first inversion, or not the first inversion, but the first downward facing dog, you're welcome to bend your knees as much as is comfortable for you, and really focus on pressing the hips up and back towards the seam of the ceiling and the wall. Deep breath here. Shifting weight over to the right leg, left knee rises, and then stepping forward between the palms, walking the left leg out towards the left edge of the mat if we need to widen our stance. Inhale, coming up into our high lunge on the opposite side. Squeezing glutes, grounding into the foot, lifting inner arch. Deep breath here. Exhale, hands come down. Shifting weight to the left foot, big step forward or several small steps. Inhale, halfway rise. Exhale, fold. Bending knees, tucking chin towards chest. Reverse as we reach up towards the sun. Exhale, down to mountain. Taking a moment here, tuning in once again to the energy created throughout the body. You might feel a little warm now. That's the goal. If you don't, let me know. Great. So from here, hands to the hips, and we'll shift the weight over to the right leg as we step the left toes back. And we'll meet back into our high lunge. So grounding into the right foot, feel to draw right hip back, left hip forward, lift pelvic bowl, sinking hips down. Maybe the hands come up, maybe they reach all the way up. Again, if I feel unsteady, I'm gonna walk this right foot out. Deep breath here, squeeze glutes, engage this leg all the way down through the heel. One more breath here. As we exhale, hinging forward, arms come alongside the body, reaching back towards the seam of the floor and the wall behind us. Press into the right foot. Deep breath here. Exhale, hands come all the way down to the mat. Stepping right foot back, right knee down, both knees. Placing hands underneath shoulders. Deep breath in, tops of the feet to the mat, sinking abdomen down, softly looking forward. Exhale, rounding spine, tucking chin towards chest. Inhale, neutral. Opening knees wide, big toes together, pressing hips back toward heels. They do not have to touch. Walking hands forward, coming into Balasana or child's pose. Deep breath in and exhale it out. One more breath here. Slowly with awareness, as we inhale, walking hands back in towards the chest, coming back up onto the knees, making our way up into Tadasana. Shifting the weight over to the right leg, left leg steps back. Heel toe, right foot out towards the long edge of the mat. Right hip back, left hip forward, lifting pelvic bowl, squeezing glutes, meeting in our high lunge. Is this the side we just did? I feel like it is. No? Okay. If you already did this leg, then switch to the other, and if not, then stay right here. Deep breath, squeeze glutes, reaching chest up. As we exhale, hinging at the hip, reaching forward, arms alongside the body. Ground down into the right foot. Deep breath here. Exhale, bringing hands all the way down. Left knee down to the mat and then right. Hands come down. Deep breath in, sinking abdomen down, softly looking forward. As you exhale, rounding spine, tucking chin towards chest. Inhale to neutral. Bringing big toes together, opening knees wide, and setting hips back to hips. Deep breath in, exhale it out, and allow yourself to sink just a little bit deeper. Tuning in once again to all the sensations occurring throughout the body. Any thoughts or emotions that arise, acknowledge them and send them right back through. Not adding additional thoughts or emotions. Inhale, hands walk forward, coming up onto the knees. Being here for a few moments here. So if you'd like to grab a blanket and place that underneath the knees or underneath the hands, by all means. Sometimes if my ankles are uncomfortable or the tops of my feet, I can roll the edge of my blanket and then place that right at the ankle and give me a little bit more space there. Taking a deep breath in, widening our stance just a little. Again, this is going to be what's comfortable for you. Shifting the weight over to the right hand and into tops of both feet. Inhale, as the left arm reaches up, and then exhale as it comes back behind the right arm, reaching for the wall over to the right. Deep breath in, arm reaches up. Excuse me, I think I had that backwards. Exhale, arm reaches underneath the right. So continuing at your own breath pattern, just nice and slow. We'll do two more. Waking up the spine and shoulder. Inhaling back to center, grounding the left hand down. Setting hips back to heels, opening knees wide, walking hands forward, just taking some of the weight off the wrist for a moment, maybe even rolling wrist. Inhale, coming back up. Stacking wrists and shoulders, knees and hips. And this time we'll shift the weight over to the left hand. Inhale, right arm rises. Maybe it comes straight out into a T, and as we exhale, bringing it underneath the left, reaching for the wall to the left. Inhale, coming out, and exhale. And continuing at your own breath pace. One last round. Inhaling, meeting in our tabletop. Deep breath in and exhaling it out. Coming up onto the knees. I'm going to take a quarter turn to the right so that you can see. You are welcome to do so as well. And taking my blanket here again, so I can provide a little bit more support for the knees. Extending right leg out, toes will face the wall in front. Making sure my left knee is stacked underneath the hip. Together we'll inhale, arms rise. As we exhale, Right hand comes down, reaching straight up first. Relaxing right shoulder down. Deep breath in and exhale it out. I might stay right here, or if I feel like I'd like a little bit more of an opening in the left side of the body, as I exhale, reaching left fingertips over to the right, drawing left shoulder and elbow back. Softening right knee, so we don't want to lock the knee so it's not hyperextended. One more breath here. Inhale, coming back up. Exhale, gently release. Switching out our legs. Stacking right knee underneath right hip, left leg extends out. And we're gonna feel to draw the hips forward. So it's easy to wanna push the hips back here, but we wanna bring them forward, squeezing glutes, engaging abdomen, protecting lumbar spine. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, left arm relaxes down and then reach up through the right. So it's as if we're drawing the energy up through the knee and out through the fingertips. Deep breath in. Either staying right here or as you exhale, reaching right fingertips over to the left and feeling to draw right shoulder and elbow back. Gaze can be underneath the tricep or it could be forward. Soften left shoulder, maybe even give it a shrug, just reminding you to let go of anything you're holding on to there. Inhaling back to center, releasing left or right arm, left knee comes in. We're just gonna shake it out. Roll shoulders back. And then pausing here. Moving into Vasisthasana or side plank, I'm going to take a block, just to have one handy, and place it about 6 to 9 inches out from the right leg. As I exhale, bending over to the right, extending once again, left knee out, toes will face the wall in front. And we actually want to stack this a little bit above the shoulder here. Feeling once again to squeeze hips forward. Squeezing glutes, engaging abdomen, drawing shoulder back. I might stay right here. Maybe I lift the arm, reaching straight up. Remembering these are all just options. Maybe I stay right here. Maybe I squeeze the inner and outer muscles of the thigh. Begin to lift the leg. Not required, just an option. Deep breath. One more breath here. And as we exhale, bringing left hand down, then right, bringing the block, or the toes to the right foot, coming straight back. And then left knee comes in, realigning in our tabletop. Deep breath in and exhale it out. On your next inhalation, sinking abdomen down, softly looking forward. And as you exhale, rounding spine, hugging chin towards chest, letting head hang heavy. Shifting the weight over as we inhale to neutral to the left side. So we'll kickstand the left leg behind us, walking left hand just above the shoulder, extending right leg out, hips shift forward once again. Feel to draw right shoulder back. Inhale. Maybe right arm rises, maybe it stays at the hip. Perfectly fine. Vasisthasana on the opposite side. Deep breath here. Running the energy up and out through the fingertips. So the top arm is active. If I were to come by and give you a high five, I should feel resistance here. You are actively reaching up, either staying here or squeezing the adductors and abductors, so the inner and outer thigh muscles, lifting the leg. Not required, just options. If a leg does rise, press through the heels, toes towards the knees. Exhale and gently release. Once again, meeting in our tabletop, nice neutral spine here. So coming back onto all fours. And you're welcome to come into our cat and cow that we were just doing, or you're welcome to extend the right leg and then the left, bending knees, pressing hips back, and then ground into the ball of the foot as you meet in our downward facing dog. One's not better than another, they're just different. So just because you do one doesn't mean you're doing less or you're doing more. And together we'll all meet with the knees down on the mat. Yes, beautiful. Pressing hips back to heels as we open knees wide, meeting in child's pose or balasana. Deep breath in. Maybe the forehead grounds onto a block or onto the mat. I'd like to encourage making some contact in this child's pose with the space between the brows, that oftentimes referred to as that third eye, but really in this instance, it will help stimulate the vagus nerve, which again helps stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest, slowing down. Deep breath in and exhale it out. Beginning to walk the hands up towards the knees. And we will meet in standing, so in our Tadasana. Great job. Moving into Vrikshasana or tree pose. If you know that you like to be next to a wall or have the back of a chair handy, again, just for, sometimes it's just like a little mental trick where you know it's there, can be great. Or sometimes standing against the wall can be a really great option as well. So from here, we'll meet in our Tadasana. So comfortable width apart for the feet, shoulders back and down, reaching up through the crown of the head, creating our arches, so lifting that inner arch. It's really important here to have a nice strong foundation, shoulders back and down. We'll set our drishti, which is our gaze or focal point. Something about eye level so you don't have to move the head significantly, and that's not moving. So if you were practicing in front of a mirror, I would not recommend looking at yourself. If you're me, anyway, I can get quite wobbly. Knees are softened, shoulders back and down, ground in through the heels, shifting weight over to the left leg, coming up onto the toes of the right. As I did that, my right hip kicked up. So I'm going to drop it down, level out the hips, engage abdomen. Staying here, or I'm going to turn my right knee out, resting the heel of the right foot above the ankle. So right here, I'm going to stop and bring my hands to my hips. If my left hip is being pulled toward the right, I'm going to draw this right knee a little closer to center, because I want to work within my range of motion so I can practice yoga for a very long time. So grounding here, being a very strong and stable tree. So hurricane winds will come in and I'm not going to get blown over. I might wiggle. I'm either going to stay here or begin to bring the foot up the inside of the left leg. Maybe hands come together. Maybe they reach out. Lots of options here. I'm going to continue to engage the abdomen, reach up through the crown of the head. Deep breath. If I feel unsteady, I'm going to shorten my lever. So bending left knee, dropping hips down, keeping hips stacked over ankle. Physics. Science is everywhere. Deep breath. When I exhale, dissolving the pose, step it out. Let go of any frustrations. When we're ready, we'll meet in our mountain pose or Tadasana. Switching to the opposite side here. Again, nice strong foundation. setting the drishti, so finding our gaze. So even though we're grounding down into the earth, we're not locking knees, so there's still that slight bend. Shoulders come back, abdomen's engaged, reaching up through the crown of the head, shifting weight over to right leg, coming up onto toes of left, turning left knee out, dropping left hip down so it's level with right, abdomen's engaged, making sure right hip isn't turning towards the right or left. And from here, coming up into your variation of tree pose. Deep breath in and exhale it out. Squeezing glutes. Beautiful forest out there. I always like to envision my favorite tree, which is a sycamore, and just envision growing my roots down into the earth as I reach the leaves, my hands, my head up towards the sky. And we'll exhale, gently dissolve. Step it out. Great job. Bringing feet comfortable or hip wider than hip width apart. Toes will face in. Knees are softened. Inhale, arms reach up. And as we exhale, hinging at the hips, folding forward, maybe using a block here or two. Knees bend, pressing hips up and back. Clasping opposite elbows, letting head hang as we meet in ragdoll. In a wide-legged ragdoll, if you will. You're welcome to stay right here or maybe sway gently side to side. Sometimes that resonates with me and sometimes it doesn't. And so if something that you know that you typically enjoy one day and maybe on another you don't, that's perfectly fine and normal. From here, we'll bend the knees deeply, bringing hands up to the hips, and slowly grounding into the feet, coming all the way up. Shoulders come back. Pressing into the earth, arms reach up. Heel-toe feet comfortable within. Grounding into the heels. Together, we'll exhale, bringing hands down towards the earth, bending knees deeply, setting hips back. And then inhale all the way up. We're going to do this a couple of times. Exhale, sinking down, grounding down into the heels, inhale up. One last round. Exhale, inhale. Great job. Releasing arms down alongside the body, taking hold of our block, placing it between the forearms. Squeezing the block here. Thank you. Abdomen's engaged. Thanks. Feet are comfortable width apart. Inhale, reaching out. Squeeze block, squeeze abdomen, soften knees, squeeze inner thighs. Exhale, gently release. Shake out the arms. Okay, we're going to switch down to the thighs here. So taking our block, placing it either between knees or between thighs. If you have any SI joint issues or discomfort, placing it between the thighs can feel a little bit more comfortable. Squeeze the inner thighs here. Squeeze the block. Squeeze glutes. Reach up through the crown of the head, gently release. Now, soften knees, so bend the knees, squeeze block, shoulders come back, and then gently release. Pressing the weight into the heels while knees are soft, lift toes. They don't have to come up very far. It's just more about the distribution of the weight and feeling that. And then we'll press into the ball of the foot, heels hover. And then once again into the heels, lift toes, ball of the foot. We're gonna put this all together here in a moment. And then into the four corners, as you often hear. So into the heel, into the ball of the foot, into the edges, lift inner arches. Squeeze glutes, squeeze inner thighs, and then gently release. Great job. So keeping the block as it is, we're gonna put this all together. We'll inhale, arms rise. Squeeze inner thighs, squeeze abdomen, so drawing the belly in and up, reaching up through the crown of the head. As we exhale, bending knees, swan diving down, sinking hips down, weight back into the heels so we can lift the toes. Arms reach forward, engage abdomen, right here. Utkatasana, chair pose. Deep breath, so much going on right here. Exhale, fold forward. Release the block. Ragdoll, welcome to rock side to side. Deep breath in and exhale it out. Grounding into the feet, tucking chin towards chest. If you have any lower back or any back issues at all, bend knees and come up with a nice flat back. If you don't have any back issues, we'll begin to roll the spine up, stacking vertebrae one at a time. Shoulders come back and down, and the head will be the very last thing that comes up. Taking a moment here. Closing down the eyes and tuning in. Noticing the sensations occurring throughout the body, becoming aware of any thoughts or emotions. And from here, we will meet on our back, supine position on our mat. Bringing flat feet to the floor. Extending right leg long. Crossing left leg either over the shin, so above the ankle, or over the thigh above the knee. The foot that is off the floor will press through the heel, drawing toes towards the knees so the foot is flexed. And as we exhale, we'll begin to draw the extended legs, heel in towards the body, pausing wherever we feel is comfortable for us. For some, maybe we draw the knee in towards the chest as we wrap the arms around and through, crossing over the shin. These are all just options. Another option would be to maybe add that gentle rock side to side here. If both feet come up off the floor, then both feet should be flexed, so pressing through the heel, toes towards the knee. So flexing the feet helps us to engage the muscles, which helps us to protect the joints. Deep breath in. Keeping the legs as they are, we'll extend arms out into a T, palms facing down. And as we exhale, we'll bring the left foot and right thigh over to the right, coming into the thoracic twist. Deep breath here and exhale it out. The gaze can be to the left if we'd like to carry the twist up into the cervical spine. It can be straight up, or it can be over to the right. Just depends on how the neck is feeling today. Taking another deep breath in, filling up the stomach, and as you exhale, draw the navel into the spine and exhale it all out, allowing the body to become heavy here. And slowly, with awareness, engaging the abdomen, coming back to center, extending left leg long and then right, giving the legs a good shake, just kind of awakening everything back up. And then crossing right leg over left, again, either over shin above ankle or over thigh above knee, and then beginning to draw left heel in toward glute. Maybe arms reach around and through, clasping above or below the knee as we draw the knee in towards chest. Flexing feet, releasing lower back down into the mat. And perhaps adding a gentle rock side to side. And on your next exhalation, releasing over to the left as we bring the right flat foot and left thigh over to the side, coming into our thoracic twist. Gaze can set to the right, to the center, or to the left. Engaging the abdomen and slowly inhaling back towards center. Extending the legs long and gently shaking them out. And taking one more moment here, bringing flat feet to the mat. Flat feet or mat width apart. And allowing the knees to tend to end resting on one another. Releasing the lower back down into the mat. Taking a deep breath here and exhaling it out. Notice the slowing down, noticing the breath, tuning into the sensations occurring throughout the body, becoming aware of any thoughts or emotions we're holding on to, or any holding at all, whether it's physical, mental, or emotional. And as you exhale, coming into your final Shavasana. So perhaps that's extending legs out, opening legs wide, arms facing up, or palms. Maybe that's using a blanket over the body, rolling a blanket and placing it between the knees. So whatever will allow you to feel the most comfortable and relaxed. Taking another moment, making any adjustments the body is needing to make yourself feel that much more comfortable. Taking a deep breath in, exhaling it out through the mouth. Maybe doing this once more and allowing the body to become heavy. Body to begin to soften at the same time. So by that, we're releasing any holding. Shavasana is said to be one of the hardest poses of our practice. And it's because we're not engaging any muscles, lengthening, extending, but we're to simply be present with ourselves, body, with the mind.
judgment, not adding additional thoughts or emotion to any particular thing. Just being. You'll hear the sound of my singing bowl. It's not to alert you to any particular thing, just allowing these vibrations to begin to wash over the body and mind. On your next inhalation, drawing the breath deep down into the lower lobes of the lungs, allowing the stomach and chest to expand. And then exhaling it out. And doing this once more. Just noticing how this breath feels. Tuning in to how this body feels. And then tuning into the mind. No judgments, just observing. yourself, for showing up for yourself. And then gently bringing awareness back into the body by wiggling the fingers and then the toes. Perhaps drawing knees in towards chest and rolling over onto one side, staying as you are. And when you're ready, we'll press ourselves up into a comfortable seat. Bringing hand to hand into our Anjali Mudra. Taking a deep breath in and exhaling it out. I'd like to thank each of you for joining me today. It's truly an honor to be a part of your practice. And I'd like to end with a mantra. Om Shanti 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 Hi. May there be peace